going on, everyone? It's Sal Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing well, guys. I hope everyone is feeling good this Tuesday morning. Of course, Tuesday is one of them days, isn't it? It's one of them days where, you know, it's just Tuesday, isn't it? It's just Tuesday. Nothing really happens on a Tuesday, you know. It's not even near the end of the week. It's still the early part of the week. Of course, you're a little bit have no energy, of course, guys. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Let me just unmute myself. Yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video, please, guys. If you are new, please subscribe to the video. Please do that. Please spread the word. It really helps the channel progress, of course, guys, and progress. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Mr. Lingham, David Lingham, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Casemiro should blame Eric Ten Hag because he said the players are not playing to his instructions. He needs to go. Did you see Staff podcast? He's fuming. Did you see Staffy's podcast? He's fuming. He sent an email to Ineos to keep Eric Ten Hag. Embarrassing. Who's Staffy? I never saw the email. I never saw it. What, he sent an email to keep Ten Hag? Good morning, all round. Go Man fans. That was last year. Wasn't that a few months ago? The letter that was there to keep Eric Ten Hag. Wasn't that a few months ago? Yeah, I got slaughtered for that, for retweeting it, basically. But you know what I mean? And I got blamed for writing a letter to Ineos. I wouldn't write no letter to Ineos. The most important thing I'm interested in is Manchester United, guys. That's all I care about is Manchester United. And I move away from that. I'm very tunnel visioned with Man United in sight. That's all I care about. I'm not a player FC. I'm not manager FC. I just want what's best for Manchester United. Now, of course, we bring in what has been going on at Man United. It's another crazy one, isn't it? Casemiro. Now, let's talk about Mr. Casemiro. He's been saying that he's been upset with the way the team have been playing, and he blames Ten Hag for the way the team have been playing. He says that he quotes that the tactics have been wrong and we haven't implemented the tactics properly, etc. Now, look, I don't like this media stuff. Like, firstly, it was the image from his wife with the trophies and stuff. Fair play, he's won trophies. I congratulate that. But that has nothing to do with Manchester United. Absolutely nothing. What have you done for us? How have you performed for us? That's what I want to know. Great, you've done well in the first season, but what did you do in the second season and what are you doing now? This is what I want to say. Now, calling out the manager about tactics is not what I like at the end of the day. I know it's more difficult for Casemiro. I know he probably has to do more in that midfield than he would have done at Real Madrid, for example. But it's up to him to perform. It's up to him to show us, you know, don't just moan about tactics at the end of the day. I don't like people airing their dirty laundry online and this. We've had this before, guys. We've had this dirty laundry stuff before in regards to going to social media, going to media in general and start criticising the manager. This disrespects not only the manager, it disrespects the club and it disrespects the fans. If you've got a problem with Eric Ten Hag, you're a man. At the end of the day, you're an elderly man. Well, I wouldn't say elderly, but you know what I mean? In football terms, he's an elderly man. Go to Eric Ten Hag and talk to Eric Ten Hag about it. Don't just talk on media and don't go to social media and stuff like that. That's kiddie stuff, my friend. That's kiddie stuff. You're an experienced, generational CDM who's won endless titles. So go to the manager and say, look, I'm not happy with these tactics, guys. Please, could you change these tactics? And see what you can work out. That's how it should be. Let me have a look at some comments. David, the board says Everton guys not going anywhere. They're happy with his work. It's too early to say, my friend David, it's too early to say. It's only 3 games into the season. If Eric Ten had the man for the job, his high press is questionable strategy, especially when you consider the capabilities of our players. The one thing I would say, Almac, is the tactics suit the players? Does the tactics suit the players? Does Casemiro have the legs to run? Does he have the legs to be that lone CDM? Does he have that? And that's one thing I would put in there. I would add to that. You know, Eric Ten Hag has a lot of players to come back. Obviously, he's got Ugarte to come in as well, of course. So we have to think about that as well. And let's see what happens. As I said it in the last show yesterday, I would rather wait until after the international break. Let's see what happens against Southampton. If he loses to Southampton, we all know where this is going, don't we? We know that it won't last. But what I don't like, guys, I don't like players exposing themselves to the media about Ten Hag and our manager, and it's disrespectful to the club and it's disrespectful to the fans. This is exactly what I said about Sancho last season. I said, look, it's not only disrespectful to Erik ten Hag. That's one thing. It's disrespectful to the club and it's disrespectful to the fans. Now, I have no idea why there's many people who support Ten Hag. There's people online who support, who support Sancho. I have no idea how they can support Sancho after everything he's done. I mean, everything he's not done in the Man United shirt. He hasn't done much in the Man United shirt. Let's be honest. He hasn't done nothing. And then people are supporting him. Why is that? Why do they support Pogba? Why do they support Sancho? Why do they support Greenwood? But but at the same time, right, they slag off Rasmus. They slag off Garnacho. They slag off Bruno. Why is that? I want to know why. Because maybe one of you guys can fill me in on regards to that. Maybe one of you guys. Because we're talking about here about Sancho, who's in his mid-20s, and then you're talking about Garnacho, he's a teenager. Do you know what I mean? So I want to know, why is that? Why are they criticising Bruno, Garnacho, Rasmus, but, you know, Pogba FC, Sancho FC, Martial FC, Greenwood FC? What's going on there, guys? Fill me in. Almac, Erik ten Hag seems to be falling offside with the players. Man management isn't the strongest suit. Well, you know, you live by the sword. You know, at the end of the day, he's a very, very strong character. There's still players there that I feel like he should get rid of. But then you're going to look at players like Casemiro, who was his signing. Maybe not his first choice. But at the end of the day, part of being a manager is man management. Sir Alex Ferguson had a great knack of reading players and knowing how to act with players, knowing how to treat players, certain players. Everyone's personality is different, and how you adapt to that determines how successful you are as a manager, in my opinion. Sir Alex Ferguson could change the way he is. He could evolve from the 1980s to now. He's that clever, he's that smart, he's a genius. You know, his personality resonates, and he knows how to treat certain players. He would know how to treat a Rashford, as opposed to he would know how to treat Alicia Martinez. He would know that, you know. Good morning, Chow. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well, bro. Be honest, Erik ten Hag doesn't suit the Premier League. Worry about Kobe. He shouldn't be playing. Chow, absolutely smart comment. Very good comment. Yeah, I don't think that the formation, the tactics are working in the Premier League. Now, it's up to Erik ten Hag to change these formations. It's up to Erik ten Hag to get advice from his coaches. Have a word with Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's played in the Premier League. Have a word of him. Liaison with your coaches and find a way to play. Now, look, this play, we're getting very exposed in regards to our midfield, and against Liverpool, we were totally exposed. It was Bagel FC, of course, again. You know, we thought we'd seen the end of Bagel FC with McFred. You know, at the end of the day, it was Bagel FC, and players, forward runners for Liverpool were going through at ease. We have to change that, and it's up to a manager to change that. Sir Alex Ferguson, the great Sir Alex Ferguson, changed his formation, he changed his tactics numerous amounts of time, guys. Time after time, he changed his tactics, and you have to do that. Sometimes you have to bring a player out, you have to bring a player in. Even if it's a player you like, even if it's a player you rate, sometimes you have to take them out. It's the only way it's going to work, do you know what I mean? So playing the same players over and over again, failing, it's a sign of insanity, guys. It's insanity. He needs to change it. Lies around me. How you doing, my bro? Salam alaikum. How you doing? Well, hope everything is good with you, friend. Leave the man alone. Casemiro maybe not be the player he once was, but his body language is doing what his mind thinks. It can be so. Blaming tactics, players. He are always. Mate, I don't have no problem with Casemiro as a footballer. I've never mentioned his football abilities or nothing. Right? Players have good games, players have bad games, but do not go to the media and social media to air your dirty laundry. Don't do that. That's disrespectful to the club, right? That's not just about Casemiro, that's about me, that's about you, that's about the fans, every one of us who are Manchester United fans. Speak to Erik ten Hag first. Go to Erik ten Hag, speak to him, say, I'm not happy with the tactics, I'm getting exposed, blah, blah, blah. Right? Say it like that. Talk. Communication is key. David, where is the Ajax style of play he bought? Players to play style of play, play nothing. Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, David. Any formation works in Holland. Any formation works in Holland. No matter what formation you play in Holland, you're bound to win the league. It's a dead league. You know, any formation will work. You can play Route 1 with the players you got and hoof it upfield and with Duncan Ferguson up front like they used to do and win the league over there. You know, in Premier League, it's a completely different kettle of fish. It's completely different. It's a different world. Absolutely different world. You cannot play certain styles of football in the Premier League. And this is proven. You know, I think he's trying to play the Ajax way. I don't think he can do it in the Premier League. The Premier League is ruthless. The Premier League is ruthless. You can be open in the Eredivisie. You can be open. You can attack. You can go gun ho and all that. But I just don't think it works, guys. I don't think it works in the Premier League. I think you'll get exposed in the Premier League. There is quality in every single side in the Premier League. DJC, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Afternoon from Sydney. Welcome to the Australia crew. Hope you're doing well all around the world, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Why are they criticising? I'll say it. It's a colour thing. You know what it is already. I don't want to bring anything like that into the show, my guy. Look, at the end of the day, there's people who are Sancho fans. There's people who are Pogba fans. There's people who are Martial fans. There's people who are Greenwood fans. Then there's people who criticise Garnacho, there's people who criticise Bruno, and there's people who criticise there's people who criticise what's his name, Rasmus. You know, there's people like that. I wouldn't bring in race to this whole thing. This is a football thing. We're a football family at Man United at the end of the day. Unfortunately, there are some fan cams who do that, right? And at the end of the day, when you're criticising Garnacho, who's a teenager, when you're criticising Rasmus, who's a kid, right? When you're criticising Bruno, who plays every single game, and you know what I mean, every single game, never injured, right? When you're criticising him, but then you're praising Sancho, who wrote a tweet, right? Then you're praising Greenwood. We all know what happened there. Then you're praising Pogba, we know what happened there, right? It works both ways, my guy. You know, and at the end of the day, look. I don't like bringing this into Manchester United fan base because this is not what we are about, guys. This is nothing what we are about. You know, we are Manchester United. My favourite player of all time, one of them was Andy Cole. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we don't look at colour of the skin at Man United, and we shouldn't. And if you look at the colour of the skin, if you look at culture, right, which a lot of those fan cams say, we know where that's going, right? If you look at culture, that is not what we're about, okay? We're about Manchester United Football Club, the Busby Babes. We're a global institution from Africa to Australia to South America, and you in Australia. Do you know what I mean? So, let me know what you think. Thanks for your comment though, my friend Drizzy. The same reason some of them push Ahmad is why. Why? You can work it out. Drizzy, it's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said. At the end of the day, there are some, Drizzy. I'm not going to say that these things don't exist. These things do exist in our fan base. Unfortunately, some of them are big fan cams. They're big numbers. And we know that. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's disappointing. I think if it is true, it is disappointing that people think that. You know, that they think like that. You know, it's sad that is happening this 2025 nearly. Do you know what I mean? David, Bruno did not play a good game. He was frustrated, kicking the ball off the park. Garnacho didn't play well. Mainu was off form. The whole playing 11 didn't play well. Do you know what it is, David? Do you know football and confidence is contagious? Positivity is contagious. Negativity is contagious. When you start playing badly, it's a bit like a striker when he hasn't scored for 6 games. You know, it becomes like impossible to score. Do you remember Diego Forlan? Do you remember when he couldn't score a goal for love nor money? Andy Cole had the same problem. Harry Kane even has had the same problem. You know, confidence is contagious. And negativity is contagious. And if we're negative, the whole team is negative, the squad is negative, the club is negative, and then we're going to get bad results. The energy just goes onto the pitch, and you know what's going to happen at the end of the day. The energy will resonate, and we'll only have the negative results. And that's the sad thing about it. Almac, can Ugarte make the formation work? If not, Everton might need to bin the current tactics. We have to make it work. Almac, at the end of the day, look, you know, it's not wrong. You're not going to be criticised if you change your tactics. That's one thing I'll say about Erik ten Hag. He needs to change his tactics. He's not going to be criticised if he changed his tactics at all. He's not. It doesn't work in the Premier League. You tried, mate. It doesn't work. You know, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, okay, mate, that doesn't work. Let's try this. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson done it in the Champions League, of course, with the help of Carlos Queiroz. Of course, he played, instead of playing the 4-4-2, he went to 4-5-1 because he felt he was too exposed in the Champions League. And back then you had the away goal, etc. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like he has to change it anyway. I don't feel like this one CDM is going to work. Mainu and Ugarte, we'll have to wait and see. Ugarte will have more legs. We cannot criticise Ugarte until he's been on the pitch. We have to wait and see how it works. Yeah. I meant to leave the man alone in Everton. Oh yeah, sorry, Eric. Sorry, Liza Rami. My apologies. Yeah, I know, but it's a two-way thing, isn't it? It's a two-way thing. Absolutely right. Leave him alone. Let's not get on his back too much. And this is exactly what I'm saying. You can think about this. Not everything is absolute, right? Not everything is absolute. Like we have the Ten Hag outers who are feeling really self-righteous, are feeling like, they were wrong. Make an apology. You make an apology. It's been 3 games, guys. 3 games. Come on. You know, where was your apology when Eric Ten Hag won the FA Cup and schooled Eric what's his name? Bloody Pep Guardiola in the final. Where was the apology then? You know, the football is, you know what I mean? We do not deal with absolutes. We do not deal with that. This is a football. This is a collective. Lots have changed since the end of last season. Lots have changed. A new structure has come into play. New people are coming to the club. It's going to take time, guys. We are 3 games into the season. Now, look, if after the international break we lose to Southampton, then you're going to have to hold your hands up and say, look, listen, you know, this is not good enough. At the end of the day, you're going to have to hold your hand up and say, look, you know what, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. We have to move on from this now. We have to get in a new manager. And it probably will. It happens. It happens in football. But what I don't like is people celebrating Liverpool winning a game against Manchester United, our fiercest rivals. Now, no matter what it is, right? No matter what manager we have in charge, whether I dislike the manager, whether I dislike a certain player and he keeps playing a certain player, I would never, ever celebrate a goal against Manchester United. Never. Even if it meant someone else winning the league. I would never celebrate a goal against Man United. I've never done it as long as I live, even if I don't rate a manager. It's disgusting. And the funniest thing is, most of these people are Sancho FC. What kind of human beings are they at the end of the day? You know, they're more concentrating in their ego, in their opinion, than what actually is best for the club, guys. Next comment. Link David. Nobody is speaking about our goalkeeper. His position between the posts. David, if you look at my tweet this morning, it tells you a lot. I'm going to read it out to you, right? I'm going to read my tweet out to you. And I want to know your opinions, guys. Thanks for bringing it up, David. Thanks for bringing it up. I'm going to read this tweet out to you. Okay. It says, after Peter Schmeichel, we had Mark Bosnich, Raman van der Hal, Fabian Barthez, Andy Carroll, Tim Howard, Massimo Taobi, and Andy Gorham. Right? What makes you think Onana is as good as those players? What makes you think Onana's going to succeed if he's not even as good as those players? Right? It takes time sometimes to replace a goalkeeper. What makes us think that Onana's the right keeper? It's Eric Ten Hag's first goalkeeper. He's signed. What makes you think it's going to work? Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe he's not the right keeper. Maybe we did move on from Onana. Because at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's working with Onana. He's always on his line. He always leaves a big space to his opposite side, so it's easy for the opponent to put it in the net, as Salah did at the weekend. He always gets beaten at his far post. He doesn't command his box. He's hesitant when he passes the ball out, which we bought him for. You know, and this is what we need to understand, that that's exactly what it is. It is multi-layered. But yes, we can blame Eric Ten Hag for signing Onana. These are the things we can blame him for, because he knew Onana's game. He knew Onana's game. Now, I would say it like this. I've seen Bosnich. I've seen Raymond van der Hal. I've seen Peter Schmeichel. I've seen Van der Sar. I've seen these players. I've seen Andy Gorham play in his couple of games. You know, I've seen a lot. Massimo Taobi, I've seen. Do you know what I mean? I've seen all these players. And I don't think Onana is that guy. I just don't. And I'm just saying it as a guy who's witnessed it, and I want him to do well. And subject to popular belief, I wanted Onana as the keeper. When De Gea left, I was Onana. You look at my tweets. I was Onana. I was that. But unfortunately, sometimes what you want doesn't always turn out to be what we need. And what Onana is a goalkeeper who adds more anxiety to our team. We don't need anxiety at the moment. He second guesses. Players have to guess where he's passing the ball. He's good at some things. His personality, I love. I love his confidence. I love that. He's good at saving penalties. I love that. Do you know what I mean? But there's certain key things that it just lets him down. And in those key moments, of the game, they let you down. And they can more times than not, they cost you the game. No, it's not just his fault. As I said, the midfield is a problem. We have a big issue in our midfield, of course. The Bagel FC, of course. Hopefully when Ugarte comes in, a lot of this will improve. Hopefully when De Ligt gets fit, when Licha gets better, and the partnership works, you know what I mean? When Euro comes back, we're going to be a lot more solid. When we get a left back, we still need a left back, guys. We do need a left back. We're exposed on that side. Now, when we get a left back, hopefully that's going to work. Let's hope so, guys. Let's hope so. We only pray for the best, of course. Let me go through some of these comments. Almac, can a player like Messi handle an away game at Stoke in the dead wood of winter? Some people believe the APL is unique. No, he cannot. I'm not saying he would do rubbish, all right? But the thing is, with Messi, if you ask anyone, Messi's a fantastic player. I don't rate him as the greatest all time. I don't. That's just my opinion. Messi's a fantastic player, but the best player, as not Patrice Evra, who said it? One of the ex-Barcelona players said, who's the best player he's played against? And he said Iniesta. Oh, it was Evra. Evra said Iniesta is the best player at Barcelona, even when Messi was there. Now, Messi had Iniesta, he had Xavi, and he had Busquets. He had a fantastic team around him. Without that, he hasn't succeeded in a way, you know? Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Of course, he's going to still win trophies. You know, I don't think he was the best player for Argentina at the World Cup. Excuse me. I don't. Big up Eric Ten Hag, a lot of good qualities. Honestly, give him time. He makes the good season. Just hold on to guys. We need to relax. Absolutely lies around me. This is exactly what it is. And what I don't like is the media barrage. I don't like some of our fans who are jumping on him already. Don't jump on the guy. It's still time. We're 3 games into the season. We're into international break now. After the international break, we have got Southampton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and Spurs. Let's determine what's going to happen after those games, right? He might go and win all those games, and then we're going to be looking at that. But let's look at our fixture list properly after the international break. If we look at our fixture list, let me just get it up for you guys real quick. Right, if we look at our fixture list, we've got Southampton, which we should win. We've got Barnsley in the cup, which we should win. Palace ain't doing as well this season. I know that, you know, they beat us last season, but Palace ain't doing well, and we'll have a better squad this time. We should win. FC20, we should win. And Spurs at home. It's going to be a difficult game against Spurs, but it's a game we're capable of winning. Now, if we go and win those 5 games, then the mood is going to be different, isn't it? It's going to be completely different, and we're going to be looking at the season in a different light, of course. Let me just read some of your comments. Garnacho is not a teacher in the male 17. Yeah, but everyone is different, my guy. Everyone is different. Ian Wright became a professional footballer at 25. Everyone is different. But the one thing you cannot do, is Yamal better than Garnacho? How do you know? How do you know? Garnacho won the Copa America. So what? So what? He was one of their best players. The Premier League is hard. It's not their La Liga. It's different. At the end of the day, you cannot say that. You cannot say that. At the end of the day, everyone is different. But one thing you cannot do is criticize a teenager or a 20-year-old who's basically a kid, isn't it? I know what I was like at 20. You cannot go and criticize a 20-year-old, guys. You know, at Man United. And then go and praise Sancho. Ciao. What did Garnacho just win? Tell me. Correct me if I'm wrong. He won the Copa America. Thank you. Guys, on the day Liverpool's our worst rival, we play our worst game. Yeah, and we don't celebrate when they win. Eric loses 2 of his 3 games of the first season, and we're finished 3rd and won a trophy. Absolutely, look, at the end of the day, there's still a long way to go. And as I said, after the international break, we've got some very, very difficult games, guys. Very difficult games to come. And if we can come out of those games unscathed, then you don't know everyone's going to have a different tune. Good morning, Uchiji. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, you legend. Thank you so much for joining me. Good to have you back. Irfan, Man United have only 2 good midfielder, Ugarte, Mainu. I need 4 now, Mainu. Rodri, Zubimendi. Mate, Sanderberg, at the end of the day, it's going to cost us a lot of money. We can't sign any more now. I would bring in Rabiot myself. Rabiot is still a free transfer. Let's not forget that Rabiot is still a free transfer. You know what I mean? So let's not forget that. And we can still make a late approach for Rabiot. Good morning, Brian. How you doing? Sorry I'm getting to you late. Just going through the comments. Big up yourself, Brian. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. Kenny, how you doing, my friend? So thank you so much for joining me. Ten Hag needs to fix up ASAP. He absolutely does, and that's exactly right. But we're not going to jump on Ten Hag, bald fraud, peanut head, all these rubbish insults that do not have nothing to do with football. At the end of the day, it's not about insults. It's about a constructive opinion, guys. You know what I mean? People who insult lack intelligence. If you cannot come out with a critique that is constructive and is educational and it makes you learn something, then you've got something wrong up here. A lot of these people have big platforms and little brains, unfortunately. And that's not an insult, that's a fact. Brian, Irfan, you're not asking for much. Exactly, Brian, Irfan is the man. He's the man with the dollars, man. If you can get those players for us, Irfan, thank you very much. If you can pay for those players, Irfan, thank you very much. You know, still outclassed by 2 coaches, only 3 months. He's been here 3 years. Mate, you cannot start criticising Garnacho when he's one of the best young players in the world. All right, you can't do that. Yeah, and then go and praise Sancho. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. At the end of the day, you can't be doing that. Stop criticising, mate. You're not a Man United fan if you're criticising a Garnacho. You can't be doing that, guys. He's a kid at the end of the day. Learn our history, my friend. Man United news sells and hating United sells. Absolutely. Most of the media loves it, makes the money. They will never, ever give the United manager a fair chance. Absolutely, mate. Thank you very much. Lies around me, you come up with the great comments, mate. Absolutely. You know what? Life is balanced. Life is multi-balanced at the end of the day. You cannot be absolute with everything. You cannot say that is tunnel vision and that's what I want. At the end of the day, there's many sub things that are involved in it. You know what I mean? Ten Hag has the media against him. Right? He has ex-players against him. Every single day there's something about Erik Ten Hag this, Erik Ten Hag that, Erik Ten Hag this. It's crazy at the end of the day. It's crazy. It's madness. David, we all happy he wins, but let's be honest, he loses more. He had to fill season. He chose the players. Who do we call out? He has to take the responsibility. He can't. Yeah, absolutely, he can't blame the players. There's no one to blame at the end of the day. We know where the blame goes. It goes on the manager. And I know that Ten Hag is feeling the pressure. But guys, just be calm. Just remember, right? We've got a bunch of games after the international break that I feel if we win those games, it will have a completely different feel about it. This is a new structure. We got a new team at the end of the day. These players have just come in. None of these players had pre-seasons. De Ligt didn't have a pre-season. Xerxes didn't have a pre-season. At the end of the day, that's it. The biggest issue I have with Erik Ten Hag right now is the stubbornness. The biggest stubbornness he has is Rashford for me. Rashford is the problem. For me, he's a big problem. Not the problem, he's a big problem. Big up with GG. Thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely, as usual. I was not pro Onana. I said we should have kept Kovar and used the 52 million on the press-resistant midfielder. Onana was supposed to be the great ball player, but he only an okay stopper. He has an excellent neither. Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. And you know why? You know what? In football, time is an education, isn't it? We see what happens. He's not the guy. We move him on. Unfortunately, we're not that ruthless. We can't see the guy and move him on. We can't, at the end of the day, we keep him for too long. I knew that Onana wasn't after the first season, that this is not the guy. You know what I mean? He cost us the Champions League, etc. Not saying he's a bad keeper, but he's not the keeper we need at the moment. He hasn't been a great ball-playing goalkeeper, in my opinion. He's had 1 or 2 good passes since he's been there, nearly 2 years. Nothing. At the end of the day, look, I like Kovar. I thought we should have kept Kovar as well. Should have saved the money. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's say, should have kept De Gea. Wait, you know what? Hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it, John? But I did say keep De Gea a long time ago. I was not part of the De Gea fan club. I'm not after any player fan club, but I was a supporter of De Gea because at the end of the day, I didn't think it needed to be changed. Maybe it needed to be changed down the line, but I didn't think it needed to be changed now. I thought like we should have waited a little bit. As the guy said in the chat, find a player who can control the midfield, someone like Zubamendi, someone like that, get that in, build up the team, then think about the goalkeeper. But sometimes the goalkeeper doesn't work. We know how long it took for Sir Alex Ferguson to replace Peter Schmeichel. It's mad, isn't it? Lies around me. Most of these players are new to teammates, new formations, new players to the Premiership. It's not easy. I'm telling you guys, we have a great team. Brighton and Liverpool are tough games. They are tough games. There are tough games, but also lies around me. We cannot be completely overzealous. We cannot support something completely 100%. He's making mistakes. We have to call those mistakes when he's making mistakes. We cannot be overly supportive. We have to think about cautiously supporting, but also bring up the faults that he's doing. Because he is making mistakes. He's making in-game mistakes. He's making selection mistakes. That doesn't mean that he's a bad manager and we go Ten Hag out. We don't do that. We suggest a way to fix these problems. The best way, how can we go forward? How can we fix these problems? What does Ten Hag need to do to fix these problems? Now, we've had a number of great managers after Sir Alex Ferguson who have failed, right? Maybe it's not the manager.Maybe it's the structure of the club, the atmosphere, the environment. Maybe it's that, you know? We've got a new structure now. So maybe let's give it time. Let's see what happens. A lot has changed since the FA Cup final. So much has changed. The whole structure has changed of the football club. Give it time. Let's see what happens. Good morning, Ansnick. How you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for joining the stream. You absolute legends. Dean Hendon was a better shop still than that's doing. Yeah, absolutely. Dean Hendon was. Mate, I'll tell you one thing, and I'm gonna bring in this tweet again that I read this morning. After Peter Schmeichel, we had Mark Bosnich, Raymond van der Haal, Fabian Barthez, Andy Carroll, Tim Howard, Massimo Taibi, Andy Gorham. Realistically, who is Onana better than out of that list? Who's he better than out of that list? Be realistic. Is he better than any of those? Is he even better than Andy Carroll? Come on, be realistic. Let's think about that. It's a very good question at the end of the day. Hayden Pro, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sancho fans are fruity grown men who want to wear a 24-year-old wire front. Happy when he was loose and also happy when he scores and assists for other teams. The grown men are not Manchester United fans. Absolutely, they're not Man United fans. For months, Jadon Sancho has had Dortmund on his Instagram, all over his social media. He didn't put one picture of Manchester United on his social media. When he signs for Chelsea, though, there he is in the Chelsea jersey. There he is. How can you support a guy who openly disses Man United, who hates Man United? How can you support that? I can't support that, guys. I cannot support that at all. Now, this guy is supposed to be a Manchester United player, and he doesn't even resemble a Manchester United, what Manchester United is, our DNA. He doesn't post us on his social media. And then when he signs for Chelsea, oh, I'm signing for Chelsea, I'm back home. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Anyone who supports Sancho is not a Man United fan, in my opinion. Absolutely not. Big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you so much. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Kazi. How you doing? It's good to have you back. Good to have you back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm not having any Garnacho slander, chow. Absolutely not. You're a Man United fan. We do not slander our youth players, guys. Kenny Fan 2V, Ten Hag needs to take full support of himself. Exactly. But also, the players need to take full responsibility for their mouths. Because at the end of the day, Casemiro is opening his mouth to social media and he's opening his mouth to the media. Keep it between the manager and yourself. If you're not happy with something, go to the manager and say you're not happy. That's what you should do, guys. Liza Rami, I honestly believe we are going to go up a gear the next few games. Remember I said this? I remember it, Liza Rami, and I said that as well. Look, after the international break, if we go and win against Southampton and Crystal Palace and Aston Villa and Spurs, then what, you know what I mean? And Barnsley, then the mood is going to be up, isn't it? Football is like contagious. It's contagious at the end of the day in regards to winning and losing. Winning is contagious. Losing is contagious. We need to get that winning feel again. And once we start winning and we get on a run, then you'll see this is a new structure, guys. Let's stop this narrow-minded tunnel vision. I don't like Ten Hag. I never liked him from the start business, because that's what it is at the end of the day. A lot of these people didn't like Ten Hag from the start. They were made to look like absolute idiots last season when we won the FA Cup, and then now they're like jumping up again, brushing the crumbs off the table because they feel like they've won when they haven't. It's 3 games into the season, for goodness sake. And if they say they won, okay, let's, for argument's sake, let's say they've won, right? Let's say we get another manager in, right? Let's say that manager fouls. Have I won? Have we won? What does that mean? That if that manager fouls, you have not succeeded until that manager succeeds. So how can you say we won or we fouled? We are Manchester United, mate. We win together, we lose together. Absolutely. Asnick. Thoughts on Ten Hag defending himself by saying he's won 2 trophies and being shambles in the league for 2 seasons. Do you know what I would say to Ten Hag? And my advice would be to Eric Ten Hag, right? When you're facing the media, keep it simple. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. When you're facing the media, we all know what your achievements are, and he's done well. Jose Mourinho done it 3 times, didn't he? He went 3 times, right? You can do that, but at the same time, you have to understand what that brings. That brings a media barrage. People are going to dislike you. And when the media dislike you, they make up stories about you and they put extra pressure on you and they want you to fail. If I was Erik ten Hag, I would do this. I would say, look, guys, we haven't been good enough. You know, I haven't been good enough. I take responsibility for myself. You know, these players need to improve, and we're aiming to improve the next games, of course. And we aim to win those next games. That's the sort of comment you make. Don't bring in Harry Potter. Don't bring in all this analogies that they just don't work, guys. They just you know, people ridicule you, and it just puts extra pressure on yourself, if you know what I mean. Amak, I think Sancho will be motivated to stick it to Erik ten Hag. I have a feeling he is going to work his socks off at Chelsea. Absolutely, but you know what? You can't teach an old dog new tricks, Amak. How long before he starts down tooling? How long before he falls out with the manager? Let's face it, Maresca, you know, he's an outspoken guy, right? How long before he falls out with Maresca? How long? I'll give you till Christmas. I'll give you till Christmas, Amak. He falls out Maresca. He doesn't get in the team. The one thing the one thing I didn't want him to go to Chelsea is because of this. It's because of the fans, Sancho FC guys. Oh, Soldier, he's cooking at Chelsea. Fake United fans, of course, given big platforms because of Man United, of course. You know? That's what I didn't want. I wanted him to go abroad. Mr. Starboy needs to be benched. That is Sancho. Absolutely, Kazi. Agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. Satish, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel, guys, you legends. My Australian target is, why does he always play his favourite Rashford and bench? Absolutely, Satish, you're completely, absolutely right. This is the thing I've been saying for ages. If I was going to criticise Erik ten Hag about one thing, it's favouritism. It's favouritism. He shows favourites to certain players. Yes, that happens to other managers, but he just overemphasises the fact that he does show favourite. He feeds into the stereotype. Rashford needs to be dropped. And now people are asking questions. Is it in Rashford's contract? Is this all in Rashford's contract? Does he have to play? Does he have to play a certain amount of games a season? You start asking these questions, don't you? But he needs to be dropped. He's not performed in 18 months, at least. You know, so he needs to be dropped. You know what? He's close with Sancho. You know, he can manipulate. He can talk to a Ten Hag. He could pretend he's Erik ten Hag friend. And when he gets on the pitch, he can down tool. There's many examples of that at the weekend where he pulled out a challenge. He could have run at the player and he went back. It's time we got rid, man. It's time we got rid. Randy, we are Man United and we do what we want. We're great. We're Man United. We do what we want. We're gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league. And now they're gonna believe us. And now they're gonna believe us. And now they're gonna believe us. We're gonna win the league. Absolutely, guys. One day, don't worry. The sleeping giant will wake up and we will be here together celebrating, guys. Absolutely, we'll be here together. Sanchez, Garnacho should be on the left with Ahmed on the right. Onana should play on the bench. Thank you very much, Sanchez. Exactly what I feel. You feel like me. You feel what I'm saying. You feel what I mean. You feel what I mean. You feel what I mean. Absolutely, that's a good point. It's easy. Garnacho, Ahmed, and we have Rasmus when he comes back, and it'll be brilliant, won't it? And then we can't complain. David, Erik ten Hag should just play all the players, the right positions, absolutely, at least 5 games in, take it from there. Maybe the players will learn from each other the way they move on and off the ball. The one thing I would say about David, and this is what I'm critical about, is the inadverted wingers, the inadverted fullbacks. I don't like the inadverted thing. I don't. Left foot, left midfield, right foot, right midfield, and the same with the defence. I don't like none of this cut-in, score, stat padding sort of tactics. I don't like that. This is why I like the 4-4-2, right? Or the 4-5-1. Because the 4-4-2 encourages the wingers to create, right? Because you've got 2 up front already. Your main objective is to create for the strikers, the 2 strikers up front. And if the 2 strikers up front are not scoring, it's down to you. That's why I would play the 4-4-2 for a while. Lies around me. David, it's not always ten Hag's blaming the players. You can only work with what tools you've got. Players need to stay true and believe in the manager. Absolutely. You know what? We've made change after change after change over the years. Is it going to work? What is your solution? What is your solution? Because if we change the manager, we've got a whole conveyor belt of Erik ten Hag players. We bring in a new manager. If that manager fails and doesn't win a trophy in his first season, what's going to happen? We're just going to talk about style of play. There's not going to be no style of play, guys. Whilst some of those players are still there, there's going to be no style of play. At the end of the day, come out with a solution. What is the solution at the end of the day? This is what I'm saying. Ten Hag outers think they've won. They think they've won some kind of mini little bonus bet or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Ten Hag outers think like that because they're so narrow-minded and tunnel vision, and they're not Man United fans. They think like that, right? Not all of them, but some of them, a lot of them. Some of them with big, obviously platforms as well. And what is their solution? So if their solution is, for example, Simeone, let's say for argument's sake, their solution is Simeone, and Simeone falls flat on his face and he fouls. They've lost. We've won. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? How these fans are competing against each other. It's madness. We're Manchester United, we win together, we lose together, regardless what our opinions are. When Pep signed the wrong keeper, he is full City to bring him another keeper and get rid of his mistake. Pep is ruthless. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. But we can't do that, can we? We have to make do with Onana for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? We have to say, right, we've got Onana, that's it. Do you know what I mean? We had Kova. Who's a more than capable young goalkeeper who won the title with Leverkusen, for goodness sake. Made history with Leverkusen, and we sold him. Madness. I would have blocked that. If Ineos were here, they would have blocked that. Randy, we are criticising him, but must support him. Absolutely. Critique is part of life. You have to criticise in life, otherwise you don't improve. If you don't critique people, you can't improve. As a kid, all the way up to an adult, you get criticism, and that is what you say. That is what it is at the end of the day. That is what it is. Our next game without injuries, Onana, Mazraoui, Lizandro. Yeah, absolutely. David, brilliant comment. That's exactly what I think. Absolutely. It's going to be Onana anyway. Onana can't be dropped. He hasn't played enough games. Brian Foster, Sancho is scum 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And anyone who supports Sancho, for me, is scum. Yeah. Sancho is a Trojan horse. Absolutely. You see what I mean? Our next games without injuries, Onana. Yeah, I just read that, I think. Al Mac, my friend. Fabrizio said it was crazy to spend 2 months chasing Ugarte only to pay the asking price on the deadline day. He said that they should have got him early and integrated him to the squad. Al Mac, absolutely right. And who does this remind you of? This reminds me of the Glazers. Because you know why? The Glazers signed the goddamn checks. They signed the checks, guys. The Glazers signed the checks. So basically what's happened, right? This is what's happened. I will tell Fabrizio, right? I'll speak to Fabrizio. I'll tell him. When we're going after Ugarte, they get the approval to go after Ugarte. Now, PSG will quote a price for Ugarte. We don't want to pay that price. The reason why? Because we go back to Glazers, and the Glazers say, we have to get them down this much. And it lasts. Get them down. No matter how good the negotiating skills are at Manchester United, the Glazers signed the checks. Guys. This is why it happened. Gloria, how you doing, my friend? Chi back again with the mixing sound. Mr. Sal, you are talking very funny this morning. What do you mean by give him excessive chance? He has a lot of burst up with players saying that is true for Man United, and nothing is to prove it at the end. At the end of the day, many players fall out with managers. David Beckham, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Jaap Stam. This happens in football, Chichi. This happens. At the end of the day, if you let players win, you won't be a great manager. You have to stand by yourself. Writing tweets on Twitter is not the way to go. Going to social media is not the way to go. And that's what I say as a Manchester United fan of nearly 40 years, Uchichi. I don't know how long he's been supporting them, but at the end of the day, that's what I would say. Speak to the manager. Now, we came from a decade, an era of 2 decades of Sir Alex Ferguson, nearly 3 decades, who was a great manager, right? Not everyone is the same, the way they treat players, etc. Sancho is not, he hasn't fallen out with just Ten Hag. He's fallen out with Dortmund in the past as well. He's fallen out with Manchester City. And God forbid, I'll give you to December. Watch him fall out with Maresca. Watch it. And sink it in. And drink it. Not everything is what you think. You know? It's not what I'm hearing. LVG, Ragnick, bad managers. No, absolutely not. Ragnick is proven to be a great manager at Austria. Mourinho, we know what Mourinho is, of course. LVG, we know what LVG is, of course. Experienced managers. Almac, do you think Sancho drama has impacted his buddies, Rashford and Shaw? Yes, I'm going to say honestly, yes, I do. I do. I think like there's a miserable sort of attitude towards Rashford, you know, and his buddies and Luke Shaw and players like that. They are miserable. They are down tooling. They're like, you know what? I don't want to say anything sinister, but Jose Mourinho put it very, very clear. He said that some of these players, you know, get a little knock, and then they go injured for months. But some players play on. You nutter, you mean? Who's a nutter? Is it me? I'm a nutter. I don't mind being a nutter. Einstein was called a nutter. Lingham, David. I think Man United should just play basic football. Football, David. Yeah, defenders must defend, midfielders must create on stop opponents getting through, and strikers must score goals, and keeper must make crucial save. Do you know what, David? It's an absolute great point, because at the end of the day, we need to keep it simple, and I feel like we're overcomplicating things. We're overcomplicating football. Football is a simple game. What we need is effort and we need talent. Two things that go hand in hand. Effort and talent, you'll get far. Attitude is another one. Why was Onana lineup? I know, mate. I would like to see Boyinde given some minutes this season. Child, you think Said Ramat are fake fans? Now, what I would say, right, is that I'm not saying that they're fake fans. Adam, players like that, Goldbridge rejects, I call them. You know, I've had Said on my channel. You know, I've got respect for the dude. At the end of the day, he has his opinion, and that's it. I have respect for all of them. I'm bantering them at the end of the day, right? But I wouldn't say, like, I feel like agendas mean more to them than a football club. Agendas mean more to them than a football club. Now, they have this, each one of them have an ego, right? And this ego is like the forefront of their personality, right? So if they believe in something, right, they will stick by it. They won't change their opinion. I've changed my opinion many times in regards to football, because football's based on current evidence. Current evidence is about football. Now, those guys are put. I met Rance. I've had Said on the show. I haven't met Adam, right? But at the end of the day, they had an agenda against Ten Hag, and the way they were last season, when they failed, and you know, not they failed, but when they failed to get their wish, and they failed to get Ten Hag out, they've got an extra bitterness from last season. So they're carrying baggage from last season. Now, they're perfectly entitled to be Ten Hag out. They're perfectly entitled to their opinion. That doesn't mean they're fake fans. But people who support Sancho are fake. That's it. You can have a Ten Hag out. You can be Ten Hag out. You could be, you know, dislike a player. This, that, and the other. But to support Sancho after what he did, you call yourself a United fan. You call yourself a United fan. In a time when we needed him. Ten Hag gave Sancho 4 months off work paid. 4 months off work. What other manager does that? And where is the respect? Where is the respect? And that's not to Adam, by the way, because I know that Adam doesn't support Sancho and stuff like that. We know who it is. Where is the respect for the manager? You may think that the manager's not good enough. That's your prerogative. That's your opinion. And that is, you might be proven right. Fantastic. Great. I just want what's best for Manchester United at the end of the day. You know, but when you go and tweet against the manager and the football club, you're not only disrespecting the manager, you're disrespecting the club. You're disrespecting the fans. Because Ten Hag is there. Ten Hag is there. Ask him. If you know what happened to Beckham, if you know what happened to Scholes, to Stam, if you know what happened to Ruud van Nistelrooy, if you know what happened to Bruce Padista, if you know what happened to Ince, if you know what happened to Mark Hughes, if you know what happened to Gonçalves, if you know all these things, you know what I mean? You know that players get criticised all the time. All the time. They don't cry to social media. They don't cry in front of the TV. You've just had 3 months, 4 months off, paid. Whilst these fans, me, you, everyone is paying their wages. And then people want to back Sancho over the manager or the club. And they're celebrating Liverpool winning, calling a manager ball forward peanut head. We come from George Best. We come from Bobby Charlton. We come from the Busby Babes. To have people like that with such narrow minds, who have such disillusioned opinions, you know, and such evil, nasty, bitter opinions about people. You can have a criticism, that's fine. I love being criticised. It's part of life. If I walk in the house and I say, and my brother says to me, Sal, you're putting on a bit of weight. I'm not going to turn around to my brother and say, you F you, you You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that, am I? I'm going to say, am I? That's what it is. Criticism's part of life. To improve, criticize. I don't mind that. But as long as it doesn't get in the realms of abuse. When it gets in the realms of abuse, that's when I have a problem with it. You know, that's when I have a problem with it. I say, if you abuse people, but then you praise Sancho, the guy who couldn't put an Instagram post on Man United, the guy who didn't put one picture of Man United this last year on his face, on his Twitter, on his Instagram, on his social media, you praise him. And then when he signs for Chelsea, he's holding up the Chelsea jersey like he's bloody Gianfranco Zola, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? God Almighty, David G. Bella, and it's called football. It's called football. It's football, guys. Brian, with our midfield issues, we should have Kone on the bench. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing Kone come in and being integrated into the side. Absolutely. Imran, how you doing, my friend? Good morning to the stream. Very welcome to the stream. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I don't know why Onana always in the lineup, even though he can't save one shot. Absolutely. I think Bayanda needs a couple of games to give him a chance. We should do. Even Sir Alex Ferguson did it. Randy, if Eric the Red goes, we get Gareth Southgate. That is scary. Absolutely, and this is what I'm talking about, Randy. Do you know what? They're talking about we won. We told you about Ten Hag. We told you he's a ball fraud. He's a peanut head. We told you, bruv. We told you. Yeah, then we get Southgate and we do worse. Then what? Then we don't even become a cup team. Right now we're a cup team. Okay, it's not what we want. But if we get another manager, we might not even be a cup team. You know what I mean? We might be worse than that. Like we was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like we was under Jose Mourinho. Like, you know what I mean, in the last seasons of them. We might just become a normal team, mid-table. Hayden, when Garnacho first came through the ranks, I thought Ronaldo again. Now I see him as a super sub like Ole off the bench to use us again. I think he's young, Hayden. I think we have to give him a chance. I think he's young. I think he needs to develop physically, of course, but many players need to develop physically. There's lots of players who play in Spain. There's lots of players who play around the world who couldn't cope with the physicalities of the Premier League. La Liga is completely different, as as it's been proven. Jarl, Adam is one of the good guys. Also, he had wanted the manager gone since last year, not a flip-flop like say. Yeah, absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, I might not agree with everything Adam says. Me and Adam, I've never met the guy. I don't know the guy. I think he speaks nicely. I think he's friendly. I don't think he insults people. So I haven't got a problem with Adam. Absolutely not, no. At the end of the day, what happened between him and Goldbridge, I like Goldbridge. I've known Goldbridge for 7 years. What happened between them two is between them. But Adam is okay. Adam's one of the good guys. Satish, educate Eric Ten Hag to bench Onana, Casemiro. It doesn't even need an education, my friend. Satish, it just needs common sense. You know, it just needs to bench him. He lets everything in. Every other shot he's shot against him, it goes in, unfortunately. Lingam, he speaks of Harry Potter because he hasn't had some such to speak about. The fumbles, he fumbles when he speaks. He don't speak about his tactics where he went wrong. How can he counter where it comes from back, Alex? At the end of the day, look, as I said earlier in the show, David, he needs to be more simplified with his speech. You don't need to complicate what he needs to say. You don't need to bring in analogies and be trying to be smart with the media. Don't be smart with the media. You won't win. Just say it as it is. Speak it as it is. If you're doing something wrong, say, look, we have to improve. I have to improve. Be humble. People will like you more. That's what I would say. Charlie, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, my bro. Thank you so much. Eric Ten Hag, just after 3 games, they are all complaining. Eric Ten Hag will turn things around. That is what I hope so, Charlie. Absolutely love the positive chat. Absolutely love it, my friend. That's what we're here for, is the positivity. Positivity resonates. Positivity is infectious, my guys. Absolutely, guys and gals. Maybe the board want Rashford to play because he is the face of the club. Yeah, absolutely, good point. Eric Ten Hag needs to put his foot down and choose players based on form. Absolutely, and this is what we were saying. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on with the club in regards to Marcus Rashford. All we do know is that he has a huge PR team behind him and he gets 300,000 a week. So maybe that's the reason that he has to play every single game, because he's deemed an asset. Kone needs to learn English first. No, he'll be all right, mate. He'll be all right. Let me just see some of these. At the end of the day, he'll be all right. Kone will learn. Let his talent do the talking, guys. Let his talent do the talking. Look, for me, I would put him on the bench. I'll put him on the bench, and I'll start integrating him into the team. Him, Collier, of course. Start building a much younger team with legs. It's what we miss. We missed that at the weekend against Liverpool. A lot of our players were dead on their feet after 20 minutes. Xerxes looked like he's never played football before because he looked like he was huffing and puffing after about 20 minutes. And so did Casemiro. And this needs to improve. Fitness needs to improve. Of course, that will come with games. That will come with training at the end of the day. And if they carry on training and they carry on doing the right things, they will get fit and then results will come. And this is why we have to be very, very patient. At the end of the day, let's not have any knee-jerk reactions. Too much knee-jerk reactions in the fan base, right? And that is because of opinion. That's what I said earlier. It's about their opinion. They were proven wrong last season, some may say. So they're getting defensive and they want to say, I told you. You know what? People will say, I told you so. I don't understand that. I don't understand I told you so, because at the end of the day, we both lose, we both win. As a Man United fan, that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? We may lose Erik ten Hag. We may get another manager. We may do worse than we've already done. Do you know what I mean? Brian, glory, glory, Man United, glory, glory, Man United. And the Reds go marching on. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. And the Reds go marching on. And they're coming back, guys. Don't worry, the beast is going to reopen. The opening the eyes. We're going to be back, guys. One day, we're going to be back. One day, we're going to be back. And all those fan cameras and all those people criticizing Ten Hag, and when we're successful, they have nothing to talk about. They have nothing to talk about. They'll start criticizing the trophy, saying the trophy isn't shiny enough. You know what I mean? Look at the way he's lifting the trophy. I don't even like the way he's lifting the trophy, bruv. They'll be like that, mate. Look, you know what I mean? They'll make up things like that at the end of the day. Almat, did Erik ten Hag make a mistake taking so long bringing in Xerxes into the squad? He doesn't seem very fit. I think he doesn't seem very fit, my guy. But he did play for Holland in the European Championship, so I'm a bit bewildered as to why they're not that fit, you know, because a lot of these players did play in the Euros, which is competitive football. Ciao, my idol midfielders Ugarte, Kobe and Casemiro will frop, but Bruno, we want a possession-based football with him. As I said, Ciao, before, my friend, I feel like we need another replacement for Bruno. We played Bruno too much. I agree. We played Bruno too much. Notion to notion, fam. Notion to notion. Absolutely, my guys. Absolutely, Kazi. Thank you for the chat. Charlie, that boy Kone can displace Mainu. He doesn't hold the ball, but he is precise with price. Why not play both of them, Charlie? Why not play both of them? Why not rotate? Why not have a squad? You know, let's not make it a competitive. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like they can play together. I believe. Xerxes seems to have too much timber. Yeah, I agree, Hayden. I've noticed that, you know. And he seems to struggle getting the ball out of his feet. The pace of the Premier League is difficult and different from playing in Italy, but it takes time. Exactly, Hayden. It does take time. There's many great players who play for our club who have taken time to warm to the Premier League, of course. You know, Yapstam and Patrice Evra, players like that. It takes time. It does take time. Absolutely, guys. Football in the Premier League is different. It's not like other leagues. It's the most competitive league in the world. I keep hearing Liverpool players were fitter than our boys. Who is in charge of the fitness at United? Absolutely, and this is what I was saying before. Guys, I'm not bigging up, I'm not tooting my own trumpet here. I'm not saying that I'm the fittest guy in the world, but I'm 40 odd, right? I run 3 times a week, 5K in the 40, 50 degree heat, right? I also go gym as well, guys. Now, I'm that old, right? I can do that. I can run. I've run 3 marathons, right? I can do that, right? Why can't these players, they're young, they're fresh, why can't they do that? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I don't understand why they're not fit. They have access to the gym, they can go there with their fitness coaches, they have nutrition coaches, they have everything that is there for them to be fit. We will be there where we are from strong. We will be back. Glory, glory, Man United forever. Absolutely. With Reds go marching on. The Reds will never die. Absolutely not. We need players like Odegaard. Look, at the end of the day, Charles, you know, I wanted Omo. I think Omo, obviously Odegaard is at Arsenal. We're not going to sign Odegaard, but I wanted Omo at the club. And there's a reason I wanted Omo, because he's a technical baller. We haven't replaced Mata in that role. Do I think Bruno is that man? I think Bruno's done very well for Manchester United, and he is our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson. But we played him too much. We played him again and again and again. We've just played him too much, guys. Absolutely. There is no fitness therapist doing that. You know what I mean? We ain't... Look, we got to get better. Things will get better, guys. We need to keep believing. We need to keep believing in this process. And at the end of the day, we'll wait until this goddamn international break. This international break that's getting in the way of football, real football. I'm tired of it, the international break. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired of this international break. I wish we didn't have an international break at the end of the day. I wish it was something else. Olmo's such an underrated player. Olmo's a very, very underrated player. At the end of the day, it's a player we needed. I said it during the time. I said we should go after Olmo. You know, that would have been great. He controls the ball. He brings the ball forward. He does good. Cheers, top man Brian, you top man. Thank you everyone for joining me. You're absolute legends. You're absolutely crazy people, correct? Let me just write that comment. Thank you for joining the stream. Fanactive8, how you doing, my friend? Thank you, correct. And they can have a fitness privately as well. Exactly, they got more time than me, so why ain't they got time? Why ain't they got time? They run for 90 minutes. Give me 90 minutes, I run all day. I can't have that excuse why they got timber on them. I can't have that excuse. You know what I mean? They're getting paid money to be fit, to play football. Anyone would do that. Irfan Bruno, 2 years ago, he would play good football, but for now, need a good player in the midfield for now. Absolutely, mate, absolutely. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back later on for Chatterbox if nothing else breaks. Guys, you're legends. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video. And also, guys, please don't forget to spread the name Stratford Post to all those fan cameras everywhere. I don't care what you say, just spread it and get the name across, guys. You're absolute legends. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, what a show. Great show, guys. Thank you. Take it easy. See you later. For Chatterbox at 2 p.m. UK time. Peace.